What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Greetings, 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 greetings. Wagwan. This is your brother Chief Kalanaga with another video. All right, let me just make sure I got some audio on Facebook. Give me 1 second here. This is your brother Chief Kalanaga. Yep, we got audio, we got audio, we got audio, we got audio. So what's going on, y'all? Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's having a beautiful evening, a beautiful sun rest. Um, just came back from the islands, man. Dominica, and that is the smaller island, Rosa Dominica. For those of you who don't know, it's not Dominican Republic, right? But I had a great time. I had an amazing time. As you could see, I got a tan. Like, whoo, I love it. I'm like, man, I gotta go back. The only thing, the mosquitoes and the sandflies, they tore me up. I'm telling y'all, like, whoo, they they tore me up. But needless to say, I had a great time, and I'm back in the U.S. and I'm only here. The whole flight system is crazy. Okay, and I did a post earlier, and what I mean by that is, so many things are happening, and people are just blind. People are totally oblivious as to what's going on, and even if you tell them what's going on, they don't care. It's like people just don't care. The majority of the people, all they care about is distractions, entertainers, what's going on with Beyonce, R. Kelly, Jay-Z, Jamie Foxx. Everything is a distraction, and people just don't get it. And listen, man, you just got to leave people alone. Leave people alone. Just leave them alone, because we cannot save people. I'm telling y'all for real. Like, we cannot save people. We did not come here to save people. You got to save yourself. And by saving yourself, somebody could take note and save themselves. Now, it doesn't mean you cannot teach information. It doesn't mean you cannot share knowledge. It doesn't mean you can't plant, you can't plant seeds. That's not what it means. It just means that you cannot force people to see the things and hear the things that you hear, because obviously people have physical eyes. The majority of the people in the world, they have physical eyes, and they have physical ears, but they still cannot hear. They cannot hear. They do not have that soul slash spiritual discernment. They cannot hear from within. So everything they do is from without. Their entire life is without. Okay, and they think that's normal, because that is what we are being taught is normal. Okay, so let me just give y'all my experience. First off, tickets was already booked months ago to go to Dominica, right? Then I was supposed to leave on a Thursday. That was at LaGuardia Airport, all right, in New York. Went to LaGuardia, in the airport for over 2 hours after checking in. Now, the flight was supposed to leave, couldn't leave. They talk about it was the weather. What weather? What are you talking about? Like, I'm trying to get to Miami to transfer to another flight to go to the islands. Oh, it's the weather, but yet still people are flying from different locations into Miami. Okay, so the problem wasn't the weather, but they said it was the weather. Stuck in the airport in Miami. No, not Miami, in LaGuardia. Can't travel, right? The lady was like, okay, we can't get you out. Okay, you're supposed to leave on the 16th, I think. Yeah, on the 16th of July. Okay, so not the 16th. What am I saying? The 16th, the 26th of, anyway, whatever date it was. I'm in LaGuardia. I can't get the flight. So there was like, and I got to the airport like about 4 something in the AM, right? Because my flight was at 6. So I got there like about 3:30 minutes to 4. All until 11 a.m. Mind you, I got there like about 4 something. All right. I'm in the airport 11 a.m. Can't get a flight for hours. Then the lady got on the computer. She said, oh, guess what? We have a flight, but you're going to have to go to JFK. Now, I'm saying the flight at JFK is at 2:27 p.m. that same day. I'm like, miss, since it's your fault, the flight is canceled, it's not going to Miami, Can you at least pay for the taxi so I could go to JFK? They was like, well, no, it's a natural reason because of the weather. They don't compensate people for the inconveniences. I was like, cool, you know what? It is what it is. I'm gonna take the L. I'm gonna go back to Brooklyn. Okay, I went back to Brooklyn, so I paid a taxi from LaGuardia into Brooklyn. It cost me about $58. All right. Then I couldn't get somebody to drop me because everybody at work to go to JFK. I took another taxi to go to JFK. It cost me $48. Went to JFK, checked in. Same situation. Oh, it's the weather. Like you didn't know it was the weather at LaGuardia because you already told me that. Why schedule something for JFK? JFK wasn't working. So I'm in JFK now for another 2 hours waiting to get on the flight. You can't get in. But not just that, right? The lady who gave me the flight at LaGuardia, the lady put my final destination to be Miami without a continuing or a transit flight. So that was already their mistake. They made another mistake, right? So I'm telling the lady's looking at the flight. She's like, oh, well, you going to Miami. So whatever. No, my fault, my fault. She made my final destination San Juan, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, okay? And not Dominica. So I was like, miss, my final destination is not Puerto Rico. I'm going to Dominica, Rosa Dominica, the nature island of the Caribbean. Well, I say the world, right? But anyway, can't travel. But that was their mistake, though, right? They was like, well, so we apologize. I'm saying whatever the case is, it's the weather. So I'm like, that's 2 occasions. You told me about the weather. And the woman booked the wrong flight, wrong destination. Can I at least get compensation to travel on a taxi back to Brooklyn? They was like, no. They give me a number to call. They said, no, it's a natural thing, the weather, whatever the case is. So it cost me another $53 this time from JFK to come to Brooklyn. Why? Because the taxi driver took the route that he knew. His GPS sent him on the longer route. And I'm like, yo, bro, I could show you a shorter route. But he was already on going down towards the BQE, right? So we went all the way downtown Brooklyn to come back into Flatbush. When, bro, you could have just took the belt. Anyway, it cost me an extra 6 or 7 whatever dollars, right? That's cool. I got home. I called American Airlines again. Same situation. They say, oh, well, send an email. 3 weeks ago, I sent an email. I haven't gotten a response. All right. I'm supposed to be coming back. So they was like, okay, you know what? Since you were supposed to come back on the 19th and we couldn't do whatever the case is, we're going to let you stay like an extra 4 days since you left 3 days late, right? Well, actually, let me digress a little bit. So when I came back and I called, I told the agent everything that happened. So the agent was like, okay, you know what? You are not able to go on that date. However, you could go the Friday, which is the next day. The woman booked the flight for the Friday. And I was cool with that. But something in the back of my mind was just eating me and bugging me. I'm like, you know what, Chief, you got to check this flight because something about this Friday is not right. Okay. I don't know what it was. It just wasn't right. So lo and behold, always listen to the higher self, right? I called again and I'm like, miss, I have this flight. Okay, this is what happened. This is what transpired. So now I have this flight, right? I'm just making sure everything is copacetic, everything is good. Guess what? The lady is telling me, oh, well, the agent made a mistake. There's no flights to Dominica on Friday. So I'm back to square one. I ain't got a flight. Now, mind you, that flight was already paid for months ago. All right. So now I'm back to square one. This new agent, she said, okay, well, we could, the earliest we could send you is on the 1st of July. I was supposed to go to Dominica on the 27th. The dates are coming back now because I've been through so much. It's just crazy, right? So she said the 1st, which is a Saturday. She booked it. Okay. And I'm like, cool. I got off the phone. Once again, the voice in the back of my head just keep hitting me. Yo, chief, nah, something ain't right. I call back. I call back. Guess what the lady did? The lady got me going to Dominica on the 1st of July and coming back September 30th. But I'm only going for 3 weeks. It's a good thing I checked. All right. So I call back. Like I said, I call back and I'm like, yo, what's going on? They apologize. So anyway, they fixed whatever, they fixed that and all. Everything was cool. All right. Still no compensation though. Oh, well, it's because of the weather. We can't do this. We can't do that. It's not policy, whatever the case is. So I'm preparing myself to go on the 1st. So, I called one of my boys. He dropped me off, at JFK. I flew out on the 1st, okay, to Miami. Here we go again. They overbooked. So the airlines do something called I can't remember the exact term, but it's called overbooking or over something, right? Where they just sell tickets and sell tickets and sell tickets, and they don't keep tabs on the tickets, and they have all these flights that's backed up, right? So people, so they're literally selling people's, like, take for instance, if you bought your flight like months ago, you get it at a certain price. Then what they would do is people who buy ticket last minutes, and they would, they're able to get a good $200-300 extra. They would sell those tickets, and then they would give you problems who bought your tickets months ago. So that situation happened to me. I'm at Miami airport, can't find no flights. All of a sudden, I was confirmed. Now I'm on standby. So people could not, the majority of the people could not go. All right. So we had to sleep at the airport. I'm like, check this out. Can I at least get a hotel? They was like, no, it's because of the weather tonight. Nobody could go. So they're not taking responsibility. Okay. They're not taking responsibility. Well, I appreciate that. Speak on it. Thank you. All right. So I have to sleep in the airport for, overnight. Okay. For over, I would say over 12, 13, 14 hours. Next day, the flight flew out to Dominica. As you could see, I've been doing videos, showing you guys, some of the life in the nature island. I just showed you like literally a drop in the bucket, for real, because Dominica is extremely beautiful. I didn't go into the rainforest. I didn't go into the major falls, the Boiling Lake, the Sulphur Lake, the Berry Lake. I ain't going to none of that. I just gave y'all a little sample, all right? But when I go back, I'm going to show you more. I'm saying all that to say, right? It was time to come back. Now, all fruits and vegetables. Everything was beautiful. I'm not going to lie. I did eat some fish down there only because it was in Dominica. But, I'd already stopped eating the fish before I left. But because it was just about 5, 6, 7 months since I stopped the fish, I was like, cool, you know what? I'm going to eat some fresh fish. I did that. All right. But I'm back in my no eating fish right now. Okay. Anyway, but the point is, I had a little fish. It was good. I ain't going to lie. But I'm staying away from all that. Right. So I'm flying back. My flight is supposed to leave on the 23rd. Okay. So got to the airport. I got to the airport in Dominica about 2 hours early, right? Oh, one of our houses is literally right up the hill. So I could have walked down to the airport. But anyway, my brother dropped me off, went flight left on, well, not necessarily on time. I think it was about probably half late, which is cool. At least I'm on my way back. All right. Now I'm supposed to have a straight flight. I'm supposed to get to Miami and have like an overlay. Pretty much, I think the overlay was probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours for the most. Okay. Then of course, go through immigration, whatever the case is, and then to New York. Got to Miami, went through immigration. Everything is good, ready for my flight. Now, when I got to the how do you call it? I think it's the ticket booth or the wherever you gotta check in, right? All of a sudden, we can't fly out to New York. No flights. Now they're giving people different stories. Some people, they were telling it was the weather, and some people, they were telling it was because of the pilot situation, and I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so I'm sitting there, okay, a few hours early. It's time to board. Okay. I got on. I know we got on. Okay, we got on. I'm saying not just me, but everybody got on. About over 200 people. Like flights is like overbooked. The airport is packed. All right. So when we got on the plane, all of a sudden the intercom, the pilot, he came on. Hey, folks, we're having some situations. We may not, if we fly, it might be dangerous, but we're gonna try to fly. Hold up, people like what? If we fly, it's going to be dangerous, but we're still going to try to fly. Like everybody on the plane is bugging out. Like we ain't trying to hear that. And you're the pilot, So I thought he was joking. But anyway, I think he came and he corrected it. So what he was saying was because there's a shortage of pilots, whatever the case is, okay. Cuz trust me, it was horrible, right? So the pilot was like, okay, well, when he was not trying to alarm anybody. What he was just saying was, what he meant to say was, there's a shortage of pilot, and then since they were flying, okay, it wouldn't be safe for them to fly that extra flight to New York, being so tired. So they have to get a crew to relieve them. If they don't get a crew, then they have a window to fly over a certain zone, all right, and they let us know if they could do that. So we in the plane sitting for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. All right. Then he came back on the intercom. He's like, check this out. We're not sure if we could get a flight. We're not sure if a crew to come relieve us. We're not sure if we could go. So you have an option. Some people could actually get out the plane right now and go to the ticket booth and reschedule their flight for the next day or the next available flight. With that being said, because it's our fault, if you're going to do that, then they will actually put you in a hotel and they will give you a food voucher. All right. So I'm like, you know what, man, I'm trying to get back into Brooklyn. So I want to go back home to Brooklyn. So I'm going to stay on the plane and wait. A few people got off. That's cool. Right. So we're in the plane for another hour. Then finally, they was like, hey, it ain't happening. Everybody got to deplane now. So everybody got off the plane and we were instructed to go to two different check-in booths, right? And they're gonna give us vouchers for the hotel and for food, etc., etc. We stood online another 2 hours waiting to get checked in. It's over 200 people. Some people going to some people got to come all the way to New York to get to Houston. Okay, some people coming to Miami to go to Cuba. Some people coming to Miami to go to Guyana. Okay, so it was just people from all over the place. All right. So short end of this, the story is this. I went to, when it was my turn to go to the desk, I told the lady my experience from the very get-go, even before I traveled to Dominica, right? Oh, well, we apologize for the inconvenience, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But now, mind you, I know it's not their fault. When I say their fault, I'm talking about the agents, all right? They're just doing their job. So I wasn't catching no attitude. I wasn't being rude. But the lady that I met, she was like really, really pleasant. She said, sir, listen, okay, I'm going to get you a flight. She was like, well, there may not be any flights tomorrow. I'm like, miss, I got to leave Miami tonight or tomorrow for the latest because I got to go to London on the 26th. My grandmother turned 93 and I'm not going to miss that for anybody. I got to go. I got to get out of here. Okay. She was like, okay. She told me to chill for a minute, wait for a minute. Okay. She came back. She said, wow, check this out. Somebody had booked a flight, but the confirmed their flight because what they're doing now, they send you an email. Like if you have a flight, they send you an email to confirm your flight. If you don't confirm your flight within 24 hours, then you may lose that flight. All right. So that happened to that individual. And she gave me that flight. All right. So I'm like, cool. Give me a good seat and everything. I'm in 16F, right? 16F. And she said, you're good. Give me my confirmation. Give me everything. I'm ready to go. I'm Gucci, right? So they give me a voucher for the hotel. They give me a voucher for food. The voucher for the food is like $12.50. Like, what can I really buy with that? But you know what? It is what it is. So they gave me on the ticket, it has the hotel number. So I called the hotel and I'm like, no, even before I called the hotel, They was like, they gave me directions to go when I exit the airport in Miami, go through baggage, go downstairs on the first floor, cross the street, all right, and then I'll see the shuttle that's gonna take me to the hotel. All right. Went across the street and I'm sitting there waiting. I'm thinking like I'm seeing different shuttles coming. So I'm thinking like I ain't got a call. I just got to chill, relax. The shuttle will show up. 45 minutes. Now it's already after 2. It's like about 2:15 a.m. Okay. And my flight the next day, or that, well, not the next day, in a couple of hours or in a few hours, is at 8:21. And I have to be back in the airport at least 2 hours. Well, she said 3, but she said since what she did was she already checked me in. She already checked me in and everything. All right, give me everything. So she was like, you don't have to go through, just go straight to TSA. You don't have to go to check in no more. So you're good. I was like, cool. So she was like, 2 hours in advance is fine. You don't have to do 3 hours. I was like, perfect. So something told me, hey, you know what, Chief? You know, you've been listening to your higher self for all the time. So you know what? Listen to your higher self again. Just check the ticket. I checked the ticket. I saw there was a number for the hotel. I called the hotel. I'm like, listen, man, I've been waiting for 45 minutes for a shuttle. Nobody's coming. What's going on? The dude gave me another number to call. I called the number. I got a machine. All right. Then I called him back. He gave me another number. I called the number for the hotel now. Okay, I got in touch with an actual person at the hotel. The dude was like, oh, man, listen, we apologize for the inconvenience, but the airline people give you the wrong information. The last pickup for the shuttle is at 10 p.m. Now, mind you, it's like 2:15, 2 something in the morning, right? Well, you know, a.m., but you know, well, it was morning because I was moaning. I was tight. All right. So anyway, he was like, listen, you're gonna have to take a taxi. So I couldn't get in and go all the way back and say, hey, listen, I gotta take a taxi, y'all gotta give me money. I already know they wasn't gonna do that. So I paid for the taxi, I kept my receipt. All right. It cost me like I think like 30, like no, not 30, like 28. I think about $20 to $32 to go to the hotel. Got to the hotel, took a shower. By the time all that happened, it's already 3 o'clock. I laid my head down and I put my alarm to go off at 5:50. Put my alarm to go off. So as soon as I laid down, the alarm went off. Got up, did some push-ups, and I'd already taken a shower, so I just brushed my teeth. And I called the dude at the front desk. He told me to let him know at least 10 minutes in advance that I'm ready for my taxi. So I called, and the taxi was downstairs waiting. From the airport to the hotel, the taxi, like I said, was about 20 to 30 something dollars. Okay. Now the taxi from the hotel back to the airport is $45. I'm like, bro, why are you charging me so much? He was like, well, the fee is such and such for this car service, and there's an extra $10 surcharge. I'm not gonna argue and debate, man. So I got a receipt for that. All right. Back to the airport. Okay. I didn't have to go to check in. I went straight to TSA. Everything was cool. Now I had to walk literally like about 12 blocks to get to, you know, where that flight was at in the desk. Okay, because you have to go all through the airport. I was in D44. I had to go to D44. That was the gate, right? And I'm all the way in D1, so I had to walk. That's cool. I walked all the way, got there, and I'm sitting waiting. Now the flight is at 8:21. I'm sitting here waiting for at least a whole hour, hour and a half, and I'm not hearing anything. I'm not seeing no action on D44. You know, it's not really saying where the flight is going. Once again, the higher self kicked in. No, Chief, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Get up and ask some questions. So I went to the agent. I said, Miss, I'm getting ready to fly to New York. How come no information is coming up? The flight is at 8:21. It's already 7:20. She was like, well, sir, they changed the gate. The gate is at D34. And I was like, well, nobody announced anything. She was like, well, you know, they just change it sometimes. Oh, really? All right, cool. So I have to walk from D44 and walk all the way to D34. I went to D34. I'm cool. They said flight is on time. So I'm happy. I'm ready to rock and roll. Regardless of what's happening, I'm still in a good mood because I'm telling myself, you know what? I always try to look at things from like a positive perspective. No matter what happens, everything happens for a reason. And I'm not going to question the reason because so far the higher self been guiding me and I'm cool with it, right? I'm getting ready. So I'm in 16F. All right. So they call the group that I'm supposed to be going in with. I'm getting ready to just see how things work, right? The lady don't know me. The lady don't know my name. As soon as I'm about to get to the people to go on the plane, as soon as I'm about to give her the ticket, I heard my name. The other person calling me on the intercom, and I'm like, hold up, like it's crazy. All right, how that happened so like simultaneously. I got off the line, went to the lady. So we apologize. You don't have a seat. Yo, you don't have a seat. The flight attendant made a mistake. She gave you somebody else's seat. And I'm like, miss, I've been dealing with this for the past 3 weeks. What you mean I don't have a seat? Like I sat there with the lady. She confirmed everything. Everything is good to go. I'm going to New York. The lady caught an attitude and she ripped the ticket up in my face. Well, not in my face like this, but right in front of me. And she was like, oh, well, you ain't got a seat. No, calm down, I'll get you on the plane. I was in 16F. The lady put me all the way in 30, like literally right next to the bathroom. Anybody who go to the bathroom and drop something, the meat eaters, they drop something, I'm going to be smelling dead meat. You feel me? So anyway, that was a joke. I'm not trying to bang on meat eaters, all right? That's not what, I just have to find a way to make myself laugh with this, right? So, I was cool, got on, the flight got to New York. Even before I got on the flight, I had my check-in bag. Well, my bag wasn't the check-in. I had my backpack and I had my one free check-in, all right? My free bag to come on. These people begged me. They begged me to check my bags, okay? Oh, well, they asked me to put my bag in this little measurement thing, right? Just because the edge of the bag was out just a little bit, they was like, oh, well, you can't come on. But I'm seeing people with bigger suitcases, right? Anyway, I left it alone. Got on, checked the bag, then got to New York, can't find my bag. Okay, my ride is already outside waiting, can't find my bag. I have to wait until they took me to another room, and then they brought the bag from another location with some bags that was left behind. So we had to wait for another flight to bring those bags. I'm saying all that to say, I had a great time in Dominica, but the traveling experience, it was horrible. Why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you all this because they don't want people to know what's going on. It ain't got nothing to do with the weather, okay? It has nothing to do with the weather. What's happening is this. They have a shortage of people, air controllers and pilots. Why? Because they are replacing these people with AI. And these people wanted raises, and they're not giving them raises, and they're replacing them with AI slowly but surely. And because the AI have to get acclimated with the system, they are having problems. And people just can't see what's going on because everybody's lost and caught up in the bubble. My brothers and sisters, if we don't wake up and come together, I'm telling y'all, man, I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't even know what to say anymore because people are just so lackadaisy. It's like, just do what you want with us. Okay, just do what you want with us. And that's how people are living their lives. And it's crazy. Okay, it is crazy. And me personally, I know a lot more is coming. People don't realize we are living in the end times. Okay, we are living in the end times, but we are living in a new beginning. I'm going to explain what that means. When people look at the Bible and they say, oh, well, the Bible, the things in the Bible is prophecy and all that. Yes, it's prophecy, but it's not prophecy from a sky daddy. No. Okay. These people already planned these things, and everything that they planned and they put in that book is what they're making come true. The whole 666 and the whole this and the whole that, Mark of the beast and all that stuff is planned. It's pre-planned. It ain't got nothing to do with a sky daddy. Nothing. They created a blueprint to enslave the world, and they gave you prophecy in their blueprint, and they're making it come true. Don't be surprised if they give you what they call a projection. I forgot the name of it, right? And put a savior in the sky for you. Trust me, man, these people are evil. They are evil. And y'all will not realize that because you're waiting for this image, this false image they gave you, this sky daddy to come save you. But a lot of you are going to wake up with a rude awakening because you don't know what's going on. Okay? Because these men, they wrote a book, a blueprint, and told you everything that they were going to do. They created a whole, now mind you, it is all allegory, but you have to be able to read between the lines and know what it's about. It is all symbolic. All right? And they took you and placed you in the story. All right? And that's what they did. But you don't realize that. And they got you thinking it's some sky daddy when they're the ones playing gods. They are the ones who wrote the prophecy. They are the ones who created everything. These people were not real. They did not exist. But a lot of you are just so brain dead. Okay? You just think Abraham was a real man. You just think you're an Israelite. You just think you're a Hebrew. All that stuff is made up, man. That stuff is made up. I'm not saying it's not real because it was made up. So it became real. But when you go back to the root of it, Abraham was not a real man. There was no real Moses. I don't care what you call him. Moses, Moshe, Poshe. I don't care what you call him. It was made up. It was all made up. And then y'all running around. Oh, well, Jesus wasn't a white man. His name was Yeshua. All that stuff was made up too. There are hundreds of people named Yeshua. Yes, there were people who stood up against governments, just like how you had Martin Luther King, just like you had Malcolm X. There's nothing new. Rosa Parks, there's nothing new under the sun. Okay, people have always stood against governments. All right? It did not mean they came from a sky daddy and got crucified on the cross. The crucifixion is symbolic. It is symbolic for your story, my story, what we have to go through in this hell to overcome. So we could ascend into a higher consciousness, which is the so-called Christ consciousness. People ain't getting that. So when we're talking about the end days that the Bible is talking about, they're talking about a certain era. They're talking about a certain age. Like I told y'all before, we left the lunar cycle. The lunar cycle was the lunatic gods. That's why you have the Lord God in the Bible always killing, wanting to kill somebody, always wanting somebody to rape somebody, always wanting somebody to go take somebody's land. That was the lunatic, the lunar cycle, the lunar gods. That's what they are about, the gods of destruction. We're talking about Yahweh. We're talking about Allah. We're talking about Jehovah. We're talking about Yah for all you indoctrinated Israelites. Y'all just swear that there's a man in the sky, a he, and his name is Yah. Y'all crazy. You people are actually crazy, man. But you're going to call me the crazy one, the one that's free. You're going to call me the crazy one, right? I'm saying all that to say, these people created all these things to indoctrinate you. All right? Animals are more free than you and I. Animals don't pay rent. Animals don't buy food. The only time animals are subjected to any type of captivity is when man impose their will on animals and manipulate. That's why the word is called manipulate. Okay? Manipulate from man. Okay? That's what man been doing since the age of the lunar cycle, the lunar gods, the lunatics. They're crazy. So what happened? We had a transition with the solar age, the age of the sun. And they're telling you, oh, it's global warming. Guess when it started in the 70s, right? Because it happens every 11 years until it has to happen for a very long time. So it happened in the 70s. Like a lot of our people, so-called people of color, all right, we had to go through an oppressive system. And in the late 60s and in the up into the 70s, we had to get out of that system, that lunar system, and step into a solar system. That's why in the 70s you had soul music booming so much. Okay, that was a soul cycle. All right. And then between the soul cycle, 10 to 11 years later, it was supposed to be another lunar cycle. So what they did was they gave us disco, which is lunar music. Disco is lunar music that literally that that disconnected us from our soul, which is soul music. Hence, you had soul music, disco to disconnect you from your soul. And as soon as that happened, we had crack, cocaine, drugs all through our neighborhoods. Because why? We went back into a lunar cycle. The lunar gods got back in control, and the lunar gods are about destruction. They are about shadow. Because why? The shadow, okay, the moon gets light from the sun, and therefore it's a shadow. Okay, and it's during the shadow all these evil things happen. So boom, we had that. Then we had another solar cycle. Here came hip hop. Now hip hop was already around, but it became more popular. You had more positive music, fight the police, do this and KRS-One and all these things. And then here came the lunar cycle again. Boom. Another is still hip hop in a sense, but it's another kind of hip hop with the destruction, calling the women bitches and hoes, and I want to kill her, N-word, and all of this and all of that. My brothers and sisters, y'all just don't see the trend because you don't comprehend the things of the cosmos. You don't comprehend things of, in astrology. You don't realize about, you don't know about the signs. You don't know about the sun and the cycles and the moons. You don't know about that. So then we went all, in different, you would realize that, I think, when was the last depression? I think it was in the 80s, I think. In the 80s, we had a recession, all right, which literally almost, if not, went into a depression, all right. Then the economy picked up again. But coming all the way to 2019, from 2018, between 2018 and 2019, it was another solar cycle. All right. That's when the crown was supposed to happen. Corona means crown. That's when it was supposed to happen. All right. And all people with everybody, okay, not just people with heavy melanin, because everybody got melanin. So when people say, oh, well, we melanites, and man, listen, y'all just foolish. Everybody got melanin. Even the palest Caucasian got melanin. They just got a lesser amount of melanin. So I'm talking about people, all right, that had a higher level of melanin. 2019 was supposed to, which is the age of the coronation, meaning that you were supposed to get your crown, and the sun was going to emit certain, UV rays to raise your frequency and raise your consciousness. So what they did was they came up with a scheme. Let's tell these people that their coronation is a virus. So mentally, all right, you are going to fight against your own ascension. Okay? That's what they did. So we could stay in the solar cycle, in your shadow self. All right? So that's what's happening. So, but now, like I said, the lunar cycle, the lunar gods, the lunatics are fighting hard to stay in power. The cabal, they're all lunar beings. They're all lunar gods. They worship the lunar gods. Beyonce, Jay-Z, all your celebrities, they worship lunar gods. All right. But because we are in the solar age, a lot of them are trying to come out of the lunar, the shadow world. But that God is not playing, because that God is like, yo, listen, you serve me. I need sacrifices. You try to get out of that and step into the solar and give praise to the solar gods. We are going to have problems. You're going to lose your life. So that's what you see happening with the celebrities right now. Okay. Their higher consciousness, the soul. All right. Their righteous soul wants to step out of the illusion that the lunar gods created, but they will not allow them to do it. Some of them went too far deep. Okay. Some of them went too far deep. So the lunar gods is all about, like I said, murder, rape, the stealing of people's lands, the stealing of people's birthrights, sexuality, being naked, showing your ass, showing your panties. I mean, look at Beyonce. Those are the idols of your children, your little girls. She on stage showing all her drawers, showing her punani. You see what I'm saying? But people don't see a problem. They don't see nothing wrong with that. Okay? Lunar gods, homosexuality, lesbianism. You feel me? That's what this is all about. And I tell people, you do what you want with your life. All right? I'm not here to tell you what to do. And I don't hate you for what you do. But I'm going to ask you a very, very simple question. You feel what I'm saying? They talk about faith come by what it says. Faith come by hearing, but not by, or something like that. If anybody know what that means, you know, the right saying, post it. I think faith or something by hearing, but not by sight, whatever that is. But anyway, it should be by nature. Because you see, when we created everything, and I say we, because a lot of you are lost and you don't know who you are. Okay? I'm a co-creator. I'm a God. I don't know about you. You feel me? Because I know who I am. So I'm a co-creator of all of this. The universe. I'm a co-creator. So when we created the universe, we put everything in nature as a teacher to teach us. So everybody who's running away from nature, do what you do. But you're going to have to deal with it. You feel me? So I can't tell you what to do. Yes, belief by faith, not by sight. I appreciate that. Love by God. Belief by faith, not by sight. But I don't deal with belief system. But if you do believe in belief systems, then believe in nature and not by faith. All right? You got to see what's in nature. They don't want you to see what's in nature. So I ask people this very simple question. Do what you want to do with your life. But let me ask you a question. All right? And this is no jab to anybody who's living that type of lifestyle. Do what you want to do. But I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Well, a few questions. If you take 200 men and you put them on an island, you isolate them on an island for 500 years, the average lifespan of an individual is about 100, 120. In fact, you know what? I'm even going to give you 150. I'm being generous. So you're going to take 200 men and put them on an island, okay, for 500 years. And those are the only 200 men left on earth. You put them on that island. Then you take the other 200 women, only 200 women left on earth. You're going to take them, you're going to put them on another island across the world. What's going to happen in 500 years? With men on one side, only, no interaction with women, and women on the other side, no interaction with men. And do that for 500 years. Can anybody tell me what's going to happen? Because you see, a lot of people are afraid to speak truth. But like I said, do what you feel you have to do. All right? I'm not knocking you. I still love and appreciate my brothers and sisters, regardless of what lifestyle you choose. All right? But it doesn't mean you're not lost. And no matter how you try to defend it, I just ask you a very simple question. If you do that experience, or not experience, but an experiment, guess what? Life will not exist. If you come back in 500 years, all 200 men on that island will be dead. And all the women on that island for 500 years will be dead. So what does that tell you? Nature does not support. Okay? Nature does not support your lifestyle. So don't tell me you was born gay. Don't tell me you were born a homosexual. No, you was not. Okay? That is something that you chose. And if that's what you chose, then it's fine. That's your thing. Okay? That's your thing. So people have to keep it real with themselves, man. You got to keep it real with yourself. All right? It is what it is. That's what you choose to do. Do that. But they pushing an agenda. Okay? Because why? They don't want people to be fruitful and multiply. And then you have people out here, which I've spoken of before. Oh, well, you know, women will end up making children by themselves. No, they won't. That's not what parthenogenesis meant. It wasn't a woman that was having children through the process of parthenogenesis. Okay, no. It was an androgynous being. That androgynous being had both male and female in them, and they were having children within themselves because the male and the female was within them. Okay? What is wrong with y'all people, man? Because y'all want to create all this pseudo information and pseudo stuff to convince people that women could make children by themselves. What, y'all crazy? Are y'all stupid? That has never happened, period. And it will never happen, because you need the masculine and the feminine energy to come together to create life. Okay? That's what you need. But however, the masculine and the feminine energy was in this one body. They were androgynous, so they were able to have children or reproduce through a process called parthenogenesis. It wasn't a woman like you see walking around today. No, it was an androgynous being. Okay? By the way, we are still androgynous, but because of the separation of the sexes, one of the energies have to take priority or superiority in the individual. So in me, I'm what you call a male man. Why? Because the masculine energy is more heightened in this man. But what you call woman is not actually a woman. That's a female man. And in the female man, the feminine energy is more heightened. Okay? But everybody is womb man, because everybody came from the womb of that man. That's why in the Bible it said God created man. It wasn't a man like how looking like me. No, it was a man, and in that man, the male and the female exist in that man. You got to stop closing your mind and open up your mind. Broaden up your mind and your process of thinking, and look at man from a different perspective. Everybody is man. You have male man and female man. Okay? And that's facts. I'm not telling you things I think. I'm not giving you theories. I'm giving you facts. Okay? Facts. So pretty soon, they're going to have a version of 2.0. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me write it down for y'all, because I don't want them to flag this video. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right. This is what they said. This is what they're going to be setting this up for. It's coming soon. Let me see if y'all could read it. If anybody could read this, go ahead and type it out for me. Because if I say it, they're going to tell me, oh, I'm spreading information. It goes against their standards and I don't have no proof. But they're getting ready for this. We already had one. We're getting ready for two. They're getting us ready for 2.0. And it's going to be worse than one. Okay? Can anybody tell me what this says? Type it out if you see what it says. Okay? Thank you. I appreciate that, love by God. They're preparing the people for 2.0. Okay? Because why are they doing this? They don't want you to rise in what's called your so-called Christ consciousness. They don't want you to step into the solar cycle. They want to keep you in the lunar cycle with their gods. And y'all refuse to let go of their gods because you think that's coming to save you. You think there's a sky daddy waiting up there. No. You and I are the gods. And a lot of you idiots out here talking about the Caucasian man is the devil. You are the devil. Okay? Because you see, you see, people want to take the credit for being gods, but you don't want to take the credit for being the creator of the devil. You see how hypocritical a lot of you are? You want to call the pale man the devil, but the pale man came from you. And I could go in the Bible and prove it. Because who created Satan? Who created the devil? Wasn't it the God in the Bible? Because the God in the Bible created everything. So if the God in the Bible created everything, and the God in the Bible is omnipotent, omnipresent, that means he knows everything. So that means when he created the devil, he created the devil with a purpose. So he intentionally created the devil to do what he's doing to you right now. But yet still, your God is good all the time, and all the time he's good. It's not a contradiction. But you see, y'all just so brainwashed. They taught you to be afraid. You feel me? But you see, I know the truth, so there's no fear in me. You feel me? I know how and why all of this happened. And I know exactly who the pale man is. And I know his purpose, just like how I know my purpose and our purpose. Okay? Everything in the universe is with purpose. The problem is the majority of you don't know the purpose. In fact, you don't even know your purpose because you think your purpose is to become a cop. You think your purpose is to become a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse. No, that's a profession. What's your purpose? Why did you manifest here? You did not manifest here to be a doctor. No, you manifest here to be what you already are. It's either you manifest here to be a righteous God or a fallen God, to bring righteousness or what you call unrighteousness. That's what your purpose is. What you choose to be a profession is not your purpose, man. No, it's your profession. And there's nothing wrong with having that. No, but what's your purpose? Did you come to bring life or did you come to bring death? That's when you know your purpose. You feel me? So I'm saying all that to say, you have to know these truths, okay? The first devils that manifested here on this earth, they were people of color, okay? It wasn't the pale man. They had to come first in order to devolve into the pale man, all right? But the pale man was created here on earth, okay? But the 9 ether beings, which are you and I, we manifested here on earth. Okay? So when a lot of people are talking, oh, well, the pale man is not from here. Nobody's from here. Nobody's from here. This is just a home that was created to have the experience. That's all it was. It was all that it was. It's just a home so that we could have an experience outside of our true self, but still within our self, which is the physical body. But you're not the physical body. You're not the physical body. So in order to create the pale man that a lot of you hate so much, okay, you had to have the 9 ether beings, which is us. The 9 ether being, your hair is like the spiral. That's the 9 ether being, okay? Then you have the 8 ether being, which is the East Indians. Okay, so you had 2 sets of 9 ether beings that came to this planet. Whether you call them the Anunnaki, it doesn't matter. The Anunnaki came after. What they're not telling you is that, you see, nobody's going past the Anunnaki. Okay? The American gods came before the Anunnaki. We were here before the Anunnaki. And in the Americas, we were the righteous gods. And the Anunnaki had to fall in Asia. Okay? That's when the Sumerian culture came into play. All right? They had to come and create mankind. But man already existed in the Americas. I'm going to teach y'all some truth y'all don't know. Okay? So the so-called black Asiatic devils, they came into Asia and then they had to devolve. In fact, they were already devolved because they were evil. So they had to create their seeds. And they created the East Indians, which is the eight ether beings with the long straight hair but dark complexion. All right? And then they had to breed them out, genetic engineering. All right? And then they had to create the Asian. And from the Asian, the Caucasian. All right? Well, not the Caucasian per se. The pale race. And within the pale race, they had to do more modifying to create the Caucasian. And the Caucasian was the last breaded race. And within the Caucasian race, you have at least 50 different ethnic Caucasian groups. All right? And the ones that rule the world right now, they were the last to be created. That's why they had to create a book, okay, to create a genesis for them. And you're thinking it's your book, but it's not yours. It is not yours. Your book cannot be written because you are immortal. But y'all don't know this. You feel me? But I'm the crazy one, though. I'm the crazy one because your story is in a book. Mine is not in a book. The book is too small for mine. Mine never had a beginning. Mine never had an ending. But that's going to go over a lot of heads, though. So you indoctrinated. Oh, well, you're Israel, you're Hebrew, oh, you this, you that, you that. All that stuff was made up. This is not about you, man. It's not about you. Unless you are dealing with the spawn or the seed of Satan. those Asiatic black devils. Now, if that's your, and those are your ancestors, then you're absolutely correct, because that's where all that stuff came from. But no, we here in the Americas we had nothing to do with that. That wasn't our thing. So since we were the first that manifested here on earth, we took our karma last. And that karma was, we had to devolve last into our lower selves. Okay? So that's why the first had to be the last, and the last had to be the first. And the last was the breaded out, genetically modified Caucasian that's ruling the world right now. And everybody's suffering because of them. Why? Because they will last. And their time has been up, because their lunar gods, the time for their lunar gods to rule, the 6,000 years is up. And we're in the transition of the 7,000 year. All right, preparing ourselves for the age of Capricorn. So what you're going to see now, the sun is going to get hotter, because why? We are back in the solar cycle. It is not global warming. Okay, no, it is upgrading people. It doesn't matter whether you have a high level of melanin, or it doesn't matter whether you have melanin at all, because it is all mental. So not all Caucasians or all pale people are going to be wiped out by the sun, you fools. And yes, I'm calling you a fool, because you got so much hate in your heart thinking it's about skin and flesh. No, that's the illusion. It's not about that. I see a whole lot more Caucasians are a lot more righteous than a lot of y'all black devils. Yes, I said it. And no, Esau is not the pale man. No, Esau is not the pale man. Esau is a man of color. Duh. What do you think Esau means? Red, ruddy, earth. Just like Adam. So if you say Esau is pale, that means Adam is pale. That means Adam is your father, a pale man. Man, listen, man. I don't know what's up with y'all, man. This thing is just so plain and easy to see. But people are just, again, they're just so distracted. They're not taking the time to see what's going on. They're not opening up their eyes. They focus on the wrong things. And I'm telling y'all, man, it's going to be like a movie. Okay? It's going to be like a movie. They have to do that. All right? And the whole goal is to stay within the shadow earth. That is the goal, to keep the lunar gods alive. But the lunar gods, their time is up. That's why I'm not afraid of your Bible God. He can't touch me. I'm protected. He can't touch me. I'm protected. He can't do anything to me. So he may try to do it to people that's close to me, because they're not getting the message. You feel me? And that's what these lunatics do. They can't. Okay, they're gonna take somebody close to you. They're gonna go for the weakest link. All right. So what is the purpose of this video? Of course, I spoke about my experience, but the main purpose of this video, it wasn't so much about my experience with the flights and all that, right? It's not. It's to show you that you need to open up your eyes and see what's going on around you. Things are changing. Okay? We are living in the end of times. And in the end of times, you are going to see all the prophecies that these people pre-planned. It wasn't from a sky daddy. I promise you that. I promise you that. It wasn't from a sky daddy. It was all man-made. It's called manipulation. Okay? That's what it's called. So the Bible is a book of manipulation put together by men. All right? And planned everything to make sure it happened within a certain time frame. Because why? Our ancestors were able to read the cosmos and see things happen. And they know about the rise and fall of the 9 ether beings. They know everything about that. Okay? So when they took all that knowledge, they burned a lot of the books. The black devils burned the books, and they taught their children a lot of those things. So a lot of the things you see that's happening right now, it's not really the pale man in control. Nah, they taught the pale man. Okay? And not every pale man is unrighteous. No. Just like how not every so-called high melanated individual is righteous. No. So not every skin folk is kinfolk. And that's facts. So how shall you know people? Know them. You have to see in their soul. You have to be able to discern. Now, I'm not saying a lot of them cannot fool you. Yes, it's possible because they're good. But you still have to be on your P and your Q, man. You have to be on that. Be vigilant. Keep your eyes open. Stay guarded. Stay protected. Okay? And always remember this. There's no need to be afraid because you're not the flesh. Don't be afraid. Stand up for righteousness because they're coming hard. And I promise you, they're coming. And they're coming for everybody. I don't care what you look like. Because the people that are in so-called power, they don't care about skin complexion. It's only ignorant people that care about that. Only the lost soul that's care about that. Think that this sky daddy is only coming to save one set of people. No. Ain't nobody coming to save you but you. You got to save yourself. How? By renewing your mind. That's how you save yourself. It is really that simple. Everything else is an illusion. Okay? And this earth ain't going nowhere. Oh, at the end of time, the world is coming. Yes, the world is coming to an end. Which world? There has been many worlds. A world is an eon. And eons come and go. So therefore, yes, the world will come to an end. But Mama Earth, she ain't going nowhere. That's our home. That is the home of the righteous. Okay? And in the age of Capricorn, this will be the heaven on earth, where there will no longer be hot summers. There'll be no winters, but there will always be a permanent, beautiful springtime. Back like the Garden of Eden. It's going to happen again. And a lot of you are not going to experience it. What's going to happen? Another dimension is going to be created for you. Okay? Because guess what? This is not the only earth. You have to realize that there are actually 7 earths. Because each God was responsible for creating an earth. That's why the sun has 7 rays. The sun is the mother. Y'all think the sun is male? No, it's not. It's not. The sun is female, well, feminine. And the feminine energy gave birth to 7 sons, and each of her sons was supposed to create a world. All right. But one of them went rogue and created this world with the low vibrational shit that's happening right now. But it has to be transformed back into a solar, meaning that a world of light and truth, or truth and light. And that's going to happen in the age of Capricorn, but right after the age of Aquarius, which we're in right now. So what's going to happen is so we are transitioning into a new, what we call a new creation. All right, a new creation where it has to be, the perfect man has to be created again. All right, and while that's happening, another dimension is going to be created for the people who did not get the message. For the people who did not ascend, okay, they will be sent back into another 3rd dimension. Not this earth right here. That's going to transform. But another one where the soul will go until they learn their lesson and they're able to come back into the Garden of Eden. But for now, the Garden of Eden is literally banished. Okay, it's being protected. It's all allegory. It's all being protected by the cherubim or whatever you call them, right? It's all symbolic, all right? But when it's time for the age of Capricorn, there will be no more cherubims to be guarding the Garden of Eden. Why? Because we have to step back into the Garden of Eden where things were in abundance, okay? And life was beautiful when everything was all good. And those that did not get the message or did not get it, then they will be sent, or their souls will be reincarnated in another 3rd dimension or a second, it depends, all right, on their karma. They'll be descended into either a 2nd or a 1st dimensional world to be tormented by their own actions. It is not by a sky daddy. No, it's your actions that's going to make that happen. Okay, it's your actions that's going to determine your karma, all right? And the karmatic gods are going to step up, which is actually your own self. So you're going to look yourself in the mirror, and then you're going to judge your own self. And guess the beauty about it is you cannot cheat. You cannot cheat because your true self is always going to be honest with you. Oh, so you did that in 2019, huh? You actually sat down and thought about this. Oh, okay. And you want to go into the Garden of Eden in abundance? Nah, man. You got to go to the other side. You might even ask yourself a question. Do you think you deserve to go through? And you're going to tell yourself no, because you have to be honest. It's not interesting. So for all those of you who want to continue living foul, vile, okay, in your lower selves, and think, well, all you have to do is go to church on a Sunday or pray to Jesus and accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, or Allah, or any one of them, or Yah, whoever you think is up there waiting for you. You live in an illusion, because none of them could save you except your actions. It is really that simple. You are going to save yourself. That's why you have to be righteous. Well, you don't have to be. I suggest you be. Okay? So you could start tipping that scale. It is never too late. Even if you don't make it in that round of stepping back into your soul, stepping into a new avatar, into that new Capricorn age, and into the Garden of Eden, then that's fine. As long as you keep doing good, you will eventually tip the scale where your good deeds outweigh your bad deeds, and then your soul will manifest back into another avatar, into the Garden of Eden, and experience bliss. All right, where we will have no, because the cycle, the cycle is pretty much almost over. The cycle of experience and coming from all perfect all the way to imperfect and back to perfection. Once we get back to perfection, guess what? There'll be no more killing in our world. You feel me? No more killing, no more hatred, none of that. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's why I have no fear. So that's why you see all the governments around the world, people are being exposed for all the evil things that they're doing. All right, because we are truly living in the age of light. See this? Light, light, light. You want to continue to stay in the dark? Do that. But everything that's done in the dark will come to light. And everybody's going to pay that karmatic debt. Some people feel like, hey, you know what? I would rather take my chances. And that's fine if you want to do that. Take your chances. Because you know that you have to go. Your soul will incarnate in another world, and you have to go through this torment. Some people are cool with that. But I ain't about that life. I was never built and made for prison. Never been to prison, and I ain't going. Okay? I would rather them take this flesh. Take this flesh. I ain't going to your prison. It's bad enough. I am already in this flesh prison. It's bad enough, but I know I came into this avatar to experience things. It's a prison. All right. That's why we are all trapped in our cells. That's why it's called a cell. When you go to jail, they put you in a what? In a cell. So we are all trapped in our cells. All right. But that cell that we are trapped in, we did that consciously. We did that with purpose. We did that intentionally. But the cells that they're putting you in, it's against your free will because of your own actions. But this cell that I'm in right now, that was intentional. You see, words, it's not a coincidence they give these things, these words. I'm teaching you metaphysical stuff. I'm teaching you things from a whole different dimension. You feel me? So we are in prison right now because this is a cell. That's why, once again, they're called cells, right? And to rejuvenate yourself, to free yourself, you have to renew your mind. You feel me? So you could upgrade your cells. And even if you're still in prison, you could be like in the VIP section, like what's her name? What's her name? Martha Stewart. All right, Martha Stewart, where you don't have to worry about dropping your soap. Okay, so you could upgrade your cell until it's time to change the avatar. But I ain't going to nobody's jail or cell involuntarily. Now, that's why I don't do things to put me in that position. Now, if somebody want to violate my rights and kidnap me for whatever reason because I'm speaking the truth and do that to me, then you know what? It is what it is. My ancestors will deal with that situation, but I'm not going to do things voluntarily, okay, to hurt people, defraud people, cheat people, steal from. I'm not going to do that and create that type of karma for myself. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, that's why I tell people I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't steal, I don't do these things. I don't do these things. And I've been that way for what over 24 years. Okay, when I met my son's mother, I told her the truth, like right off the rip. I never played no games. I told her straight up, listen, I want a son. I know I'm going to have a son because I dreamt my son. I saw him before he came and I actually saw her. It wasn't really like it wasn't vivid, but I saw a blur of her in a vision. I saw her height, I saw her complexion, everything. I just didn't see like the face so clear, right? And when I saw her, like the first time I seen her, okay, I think I told y'all that story before. It was my cousin and I that went out, and my cousin was dancing with her. I was dancing with her friend. We went to a restaurant, and while we were sitting opposite each other, I'm sitting here, her girlfriend is sitting here because her girlfriend went to breakfast with me, and then she went to breakfast with my cousin from the club. And while we are at the table, we are playing footsie under the table, and none of them know. All right, because I just knew it. And from the moment that day, I said that woman is going to have my son. All right. And we never exchanged numbers because, like I said, she went to breakfast with my cousin. And then for the next, I'm going to use the word 2 weeks here. All right. For the next 2 weeks, I was like, okay, I got to find that woman again because that's who my son is coming through. The next week, I went to the club, the Friday and the Saturday, didn't see her. The next week, I went the Friday and the Saturday. That Saturday, boom, guess who I saw? Her by herself this time. So you see how my son put all of this together? What are the chances of that? There's no coincidences. When I went the first time, she was with her friend and I was with my cousin. We didn't have any contact. I didn't have her number. She didn't have my number. 2 weeks later, went to the club. She by herself, I'm by myself. So when I tell you, your children, you don't have your children have you. Okay? You did not put it together. And when you as a man, you see the woman, you be like, oh man, she got a fatty. I'm going to tap that tonight. Yo, no. Your children put all of this together. They chose you. You did not choose them. So my son chose that situation. He put it together. You feel me? And then we danced all night. We danced all night. Okay, I was driving a black Honda then. Okay, 2 doors, sports car. And after the club, she drank a whole lot. She got a little tipsy. I dropped her off. She wanted to throw up. I pulled over. She threw up on the side of the road, took her to her house, right? She lived on Ocean that time. Okay. And not an Ocean, on, I think it was on Linden, going towards, I forgot the name of the block. But anyway, it's Brooklyn, right? And when I dropped her off, I was a perfect gentleman. Make sure she got in, open up the door. You know what I'm saying? She got in. Before I left, I took her number. Okay, then Sunday afternoon, I called her. I was like, you okay? She was like, I want to thank you for being a perfect gentleman. You could have taken advantage of me, blah, 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 blah. Boom. All right, we had a conversation. All of a sudden, I was like, check this out. I say, I want to ask you a question. All right. But before I do, I want to tell you, exactly, it's a question, but there are conditions to the question. So I said, check this out. I'm single. All right. And I'm going to be single for a very long time. I'm not looking for any type of relationship, committed relationship. No, I'm not looking for that. However, I know I'm going to have a son, and I want you to be the mother of my son. All right? Now, mind you, I don't want a relationship. Do not ask me for a relationship. Now, a lot of you may think I'm crazy. Yes, maybe I am. But that's the way my son was supposed to come here. All right? So even before she opened her mouth to say anything, whether it was yes or no, I said, hey, before you say yes or no, I'm going to give you 2 weeks. Now, that may have been presumptuous of me. Yes, maybe. But I was just doing what my son wanted me to do. Okay? Because I've been in tune with myself for a very long time. I've searched for myself and found myself for a very long time. All right? So I said, listen, before you even say anything, take 2 weeks to think about it. If you say yes, perfect, we're going to have a son. If you say no, then it's okay. I'll ask somebody else. I didn't call her in 2 weeks. I asked her not to call me. She didn't call me in 2 weeks. All right. 2 weeks came. I called on the phone. I said, hey, would you like to have my son? Even before she said yes, I say, remember the terms and conditions. I don't want a relationship. I don't want to have a girlfriend. I don't want, no, I want to have my son. And I promise you, I'm going to take care of my son. I'm going to be a good dad. All right. And I'm going to be there for you as much as I can, but I'm always going to be there for my son. And then she said yes. And the next night we went out, my son was conceived. I'm saying all that to say is that things are not always the way it seems, meaning that we did not choose our children chose us. Okay? There's a world that a lot of us are not aware of, whether you call it a spiritual realm, a soul realm, a mental realm, whatever it is. But you have to be in tune, in able to see and hear things and perceive things of that world. If you are not, all you're able to do is perceive things of this world. Okay? But it's a duality. You feel me? And then my son came. I had a beautiful baby boy. All right? And I kept my word. I kept my word. All right? Taking care of my little man. But she reneged. She reneged. She changed the terms of the conditions of the contract. When she realized I meant it and I was taking care of my child, she wanted to turn it into a perfect little family. And that's not what I wanted. And that's when it created problems. I'm not going to go into anything else. It created problems. You see what I'm saying? So there is a message in all of this. A lot of women ask for the truth, but the question is, can you handle the truth? You ask for it. I gave it to her. But in your mind, sometimes you think you could change the situation. And that's why I tell dudes, it doesn't. And even when my son was born, a lot of what I went through, people don't know because I was a man of my word and I was taking care of my little man. But the contract changed, not because of me. The terms and conditions change. My son is 23 right now. You see what I'm saying? And the deal was, since my son was a baby, I kept him 3 days a week. She kept him 3 days a week. And on Sundays, we alternate. And that was agreed between us. All right. My son had breast milk one time, just like me, one time. I did the same thing to my mother. As soon as she gave me the breast milk, I beat her nipples. Every time she gave it to me, I would bite her nipples and spit out the breast milk. And I was raised on what's called ara root. Our root is well, we call it in Dominica, we call it toloma. So with toloma, we make our root. Okay, it's a cereal. All right, but it was organic cereal from natural, what we call natural, right? So that's what I was raised on. So I wasn't raised on no breast milk, no cow milk, no goat, none of that. All right. I was raised on that natural cereal called our root. All right. And then my son did the same thing to his mom's, beat her nipple a few times, so he didn't have breast milk. So I'm saying that to say was it was easy for him to stay with me. So I bonded with my son since he was a baby. You feel me? And she was always working. So even when it was her days, I was still keeping him. Okay. So where do I go from here telling you that story? Bottom line is this: our children choose us, and we have a responsibility to guide them. That's our responsibility. All right. Now, you could guide them in a righteous way, you could guide them in an unrighteous way. Either way, they are still going to make their own decisions. They still have to go through their own path. They still have to learn their own lessons. They still have to carry their own cross because each and every one of us must carry our own cross. We cannot escape that. That is the story of the allegorical Jesus and Yeshua. It doesn't matter which name you use. It wasn't real. They were not real. It was just symbolic to represent us, to show you that you and I, we have to go through the experience, and we have to carry our cross. All right. And when we are ready to let go of the illusion of this world, then that's when we will be crucified. Okay. Then to become the Christ. But first, you have to acknowledge that the Christ is born within you. You feel me? And that's what the allegoric, that's what it means, my brothers and sisters. That's what it means. The story is about you, about your journey. It's about my journey, because you are not the flesh. All right? Or no doubt, indigenous bushman, arrowroot is the key. And then when I hear that there is a shortage of baby food, I'm like, yo, we wasting arrowroot in Dominica. You see, the so-called powers there be, all that stuff is intentional, man. How can there be a shortage of baby formula when we literally walking on these things in the island? The most amazing cereal in the world. It's all natural. I've always been physical. Never took steroids in my life. You know, none of these things. Never took no muscle enhancer, none of that. All right? But it's in the genes because of how I was raised. You know? So we have to go back to nature, man. We got to go back to nature. It's not if we so choose to. No, if not, nature is going to bring it to you. So everything we are going through, it's a karma that we are dealing with. It's a karma that we are dealing with. And a lot of people are not stepping up and looking at karma in their face and saying, okay, you know what? I did that back then. I did that back then. Put that out there in the universe. You know, hey, listen, man, you know what? I may have done some things intentionally. I've done some things unintentionally, but forgive me. To all the people I've hurt intentionally or unintentionally, ask for forgiveness of yourself first, and then the people if you can. If not, put it out there in the universe and mean that and change your life around. It is never too late. Change your life around. You don't have to keep going on the path of jealousy and envy and hatred and everything you want to, no, man, destructive. No, you don't have to do that. Now, mind you, some of you, and I'm saying yes, some of you, that's what you manifested here for. So just like Satan, you came to serve your purpose. And that's what Satan means, an adversary. Satan is not a man with a pitchfork in hell with a red tail. No, competing with God's trying to see who get the most souls. No. A lot of you who look in the mirror, you are looking at Satan. But people are just too blind to see because these books got you looking for something else. No, all Satan means is adversary, an adversary of righteousness. That's all it is. And many of you, you are actually Satan because you're an adversary of righteousness. How do you know? Look at the seeds that you're sowing. That's all you know. And you can't fool nobody. You try to fool yourself. You can't. You can't do it. So you might be telling people, oh, well, you're good, you're this and no, but your actions, they're showing something different. So you can't fool nobody. When it's all said and done, everybody must show their true colors eventually. When people tell you who they are, believe them. Okay? So we got a lot of work to do, man. This is no longer about the flesh. It's no longer about the flesh. That's why I tell people I don't play these color games. Keep the colors in the crayon box. I don't do that. All right? I know who I am. I know what I stand for. And I'm dealing with people based on righteousness. I don't care what you look like. I really don't care. Because whether you're like it or not, in 2050, the world is going to change. The majority of the world is going to be brown again. Why? Because it has to go back to that. So y'all can hit on the pale men as much as you want. A lot of y'all women, the pale women are going to take a lot of your men because it's supposed to happen. Because they're supposed to be grafted back into human, Hueman. So a lot of you are fighting against things that you just can't perceive. You feel me? or you just do not comprehend because you don't see the bigger picture. It's way past your pay grade. You feel me? Because the world was a human world, Human, until the Human had to be created because we had to experience our lower selves. You feel me? So they have to be grafted back the same way they were grafted out of the human Human race. They have to be grafted back into the human race. So they have to go from Human back into the Hueman. Didn't get that, huh? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So it could happen a few ways. They have to procreate with the nine ether beings, which is us, or it could be through genetically modified. All right, that's another way because that was one of the ways it happened to them. Okay, or certain things could happen within their own mental. All right, their pineal gland that's secreting the the melanin. All right, all of a sudden they could naturally become brown. Now, a lot of you may think I'm talking crazy, but I know what I'm talking about. Okay, it has to deal with a certain level of ascension into thinking in the mind. All right, so we are going to see some strange but beautiful things that's going to happen within the next few years. It's going to look like it came from a fiction, a movie, but for those of us who know, it's not going to be surprising at all. All right, but just keep that in mind. We're still here in duality. You have the good and the evil, and you are the tree of life. The tree of life, wasn't in some place in some type of garden. No, you are the tree of life. You are the tree, and within you there is the tree of life. In fact, you are the garden, and within you there's a tree of life, and not the tree of life, the tree of good and evil. That's actually within you. All right, and then you have the choice. That's what's called free will. That's why the tree is within you, right? And then you have the choice to do good or or do evil. You have a choice to manifest a righteous God, or you have a choice to manifest an unrighteous God, which is Satan, which is the adversary. Satan is also a God. That's why he's able to roam the earth with the sons of God, because he came from God. Okay? So when you want to step into truth, man, just step into truth. Only the truth will set us free. It is really that simple. Only the truth, not illusions, not some of the truth, not half the truth. No, the truth, just the truth. And the truth is, the only thing that's real is that you are a God. It's whether you are a fallen God or you are is we all fell. All the gods fell. Okay, so all the gods came to earth. The moment you came to earth, you fell. So stop listening to the illusion. Well, Satan fell, had a war in heaven, and Satan fell. Yeah, so I guess if Lucifer fell, then I guess we all Lucifer then, because everybody fell. Duh, you here on earth, right? So you fell. Everybody fell. Okay, but those who fell, some were righteous and some were unrighteous. All right, and that's the allegory of the story. You feel me? And the war in heaven was a mental war. It wasn't in no clouds and somewhere. No, it was mental. It was internal, because heaven deals with the mental. All right, that war was in heaven, and the battle was literally the higher self trying to prevent itself from falling into the lower self. There was some type of resistance, and the lower self won, and that's why you are in the flesh, because the flesh won. Now the goal is now not to defeat the flesh, but rise above the flesh and renew the flesh by renewing the mind. And when you renew the mind, guess what's going to happen? You're going to renew your body, and then you're going to have a light body. That being said, I think I said enough. I'm about to get out of here. Man, I love y'all, man. Okay. And I'm going to tell you this again. Put yourself in a position, if you can, to travel. Okay? Put yourself in a position to travel. All right? The United States, the corporation, not the land, not the de jure land, the corporation is a trap. It is a plantation. It is a slave plantation. So put yourself in a position to travel. This is why they have to make sure people who look like us, okay, we have to have criminal records, because if you do, then you cannot get a pass to go through a port, because they have to keep you imported. That's why they import goods. You have to remain goods. You feel me? So they have to keep you import, so you're not able to pass port. You feel me? It's all in the words. In the beginning was the word, and the word became God, right? And those meaning that the word became flesh, it became matter. So everything we speak, all the words you see, when you listen to the words and you know how to break down the words and decipher the words, you see, nothing will surprise you, because they tell you in the word. That's why it's called a passport. That's why it's called import. Okay? That's all it is, man. So they have to give us criminal records, so you may not have a passport, so they could continue to enslave you and keep you on the plantation. But my brothers and sisters, the world, the universe is our oyster. Yes, the American continent is our motherland. All right? Yes, it is. But the world is still ours. But the system is fighting so hard to keep us enslaved, and people are not seeing that. All right? And I'm not talking about everybody. Obviously, there are people who get it, right? But I can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. That other individual can't do it alone. So what we got to do? We got to come together. But a lot of us are caught up in the lower ego. You have two egos: the higher ego, the lower ego. I hear people talk about, oh, well, you got to kill the ego. No, why you want to kill the ego? Why you want to kill the higher ego? You got two of them. And the goal is not to kill the lower ego. No, the goal is to keep the lower ego under control. It's really that simple. All right. But we got to come together. It's the only way it's going to work. Is the only way it's going to work, because the powers, the so-called powers there be, they are working together. So what makes you think you could do it alone? You can't. Doesn't matter how powerful you are, I am, we can't do it alone. It has to be a collective. Why? Because we have been individualized from the all. So we have to become the all again. All right. We have to bring back the unit, hence the word unity. All right. So yes, we could still be individed or individuals divided from the all, but mentally we have to become the unit. All right. So we could be able to stand a chance against these unrighteous beings that's out here raping, killing, and destroying, like they did from the moment they manifested here on earth. Okay? It's plain to see if you could see it, but you have to take that illusion away from your eyes. Take that blur out of your eyes and open your eyes so you could see these things. All right? So we'll talk soon, man. Have yourself a great sunrest, and I love y'all. Like I said, on the 26th, I'll be heading to London. Of course, you know, I'm going to do videos. I'm going to take pictures, whatever. I'm so excited to see my grandma. She turned 93. I'm going to have an amazing time. And when I get back, it's time to really, really put my hands in the dirt and do some work. We got a lot of work to do. So I'm going to, when I come back, we're going to, some things I have to do. All right. So I'll be talking about that some more. And we got some work. We got not some work. We have a lot of work to do. So we need to, for those of us who are willing to come together, I think it's time to make some things happen. All right. So we'll talk soon, and peace and love.